is Aarti Desai, and let me take you straight into who she is, what we are going to be doing today. So give me a minute. ये है मेरा ब्यूटीफुल डॉगी, मेरा नहीं है, मतलब मुझे बहुत अच्छी लगी है फोटो के, स्वेटर वेटर पहन के कितना सुंदर लग रहा है, नहीं आपको नहीं लगता? मेरा वाला तो कमीना स्वेटर पहनता ही नहीं है, कुछ नहीं पहनती वो, बट जस्ट शोइंग यू. ये देखिए, ये पेट्स एट होम, पीपल आर वेरी वेरी फॉन्ड ऑफ ग्रूमिंग देम, and not just grooming them, they might even make them wear clothes and stuff like that. Mine is a wild babe who doesn't like anything, any kind of frills and fancies. बिल्कुल मेरे पे गई है, मतलब कुछ नखरा मत करो, क्रिसमस ट्री मत बनाओ मुझे. चलिए, यहाँ से आपको ये बताया जाएगा कि आज हम नए अपडेट्स ये हैं कि we are starting 30-minute classes for quick learning. आप सोच सकते हो 30 मिनट, एक घंटा नहीं, आधा टाइम. They will be covering fitness, wellness, चाय पे चर्चा classes. Classes are running at 7:30 a.m. सुबह 7:30 बजे, 5:30 in the evening, 6:30 in the evening, और सोने से पहले 10:30 बजे रात को. तो join us for the health benefits and learning. आपकी मर्जी है कि सुबह 7:30 बजे आप उठ के ज्वाइन करोगे कि रात के 10:30 बजे ज्वाइन करोगे, आपकी मर्जी. चलिए, आपको हम दिखा देते हैं हमारा ब्यूटीफुल अमेजिंग गेस्ट, जो एक्चुअली एक्सपर्ट है हमारा, क्योंकि इस टॉपिक पे आई एम रियली नॉट द एक्सपर्ट. आई एम अ न्यू लवर फॉर एनिमल्स. मेरे लिए एक दुनिया खुल गई इनकी वजह से, क्योंकि इन्होंने मुझे कहा कि तुम सब कर सकती हो. I was petrified of dogs, petrified of anything called an animal. मेरा तो हाल ये होता था कि कुत्ता कहीं और मैं कहीं, मतलब अगर वो मेरे इर्द गिर्द पास कहीं आ गया तो I would pass out, forget anything else. अब ये आरती देसाई मेरी जिंदगी में आई, who's an animal communicator, holistic animal healer, sound healer for pets and buck flower trainer for pets. और इन्होंने मेरी जिंदगी में ऐसा जादू किया कि now I have a golden retriever, and I tell you what, I feel blessed. Every day of my life मुझे ऐसा लगता है कि प्यार करने वाला मुझे मिल गया, क्योंकि सारी जिंदगी पूछती आई मैं कि प्यार होता क्या है, what is love. बहुत लोगों ने एक्सप्लेन करने की कोशिश की, कई लोगों ने बॉलीवुड के किस्से भी सुनाए, एंड गाने तो जरूर भेजे मुझे, कुछ लोगों ने गाने भी लगा के सुनाए, यार वो प्यार नहीं महसूस हुआ मुझे. But tell you what, ये बच्चा मेरी जिंदगी में जब से आया है, and thanks to Aarti, she knows when I need her and she knows when I need love. शायद वो मुझसे ज्यादा प्यार करती है और शायद मैं उससे कम, क्योंकि उस तरीके से तो शायद मुझे प्यार करना आया ही नहीं, मेरे माँ बाप ने सिखाया ही नहीं. तो यहाँ से चर्चा करते हैं, एंड वी विल गो टू आज का जैसे टॉपिक हमने कहा इज ग्रूमिंग, और ऑब्जेक्टिव ये है हमें ये समझना है कि ग्रूमिंग का मतलब है क्या एग्जैक्टली, ग्रूमिंग में इन्वॉल्व क्या होता है, एंड व्हाट इज इट, द इम्पोर्टेंस इट होल्ड्स इन अ पेट्स मेंटल, फिजिकल, इमोशनल एंड साइकोलॉजिकल वेलबींग. अब बड़े बड़े लफ्ज हैं भैया, समझ लो. हमें अपनी तो चिंता नहीं कि मेंटल प्रॉब्लम होगी हमको कि नहीं. रियलिटी ये है कि आपकी ग्रूमिंग आपके पेट के मेंटल हेल्थ के साथ कनेक्टेड है, साइकोलॉजिकल हेल्थ के साथ कनेक्टेड है, और सोशल कनेक्ट भी है इसके साथ. सो ज्यादा टाइम ना लेते हुए, लेट्स ब्रिंग आवरसेल्व्स टू आस्क माय ब्यूटीफुल गेस्ट. चलिए आरती, थोड़ा सा हमें बता दें कि ग्रूमिंग का मतलब क्या है, and exactly what are we going to be covering today. Thank you.
Thank you, Anu. So let's start about a very important topic, grooming. Now, what is grooming in a very general term? According to us, grooming is something, it's where we take about the physical hygiene. We take care of the physical hygiene, how we are looking, how we are cleaning ourselves. It's basically physical hygiene. That is a small broad line of what grooming is. Now, grooming we know is very important for us, but it's equally much more important to animals. Now, animals groom themselves naturally. It's not something which is taught to them by the mother. And there is a lot of reasons why the grooming. It's not just for hygiene. There are many other reasons why grooming is very important for animals. So now when we're talking about grooming, what does grooming involve? It first involves the hair, which where they're basically, because the animal is full of hair, they're licking themselves. That is a form of grooming that they do. They will use their tongue, mostly they'll be using their tongue. But if you see, there are different species, like if you see chimps and all, they are using their hands more than this thing. As humans, we are using our hands for grooming. But there are other ways of grooming also, which there are different species, but all species are grooming. Now, understand what is grooming. It's a touch. It's a physical touch. When a child is born, a mother needs a human baby is born. The human baby needs the physical touch. He's been put to the mother in the chest, and that's the physical touch. That is the first starting of grooming, actually. The same thing in an animal. When an animal is born, he needs the physical touch from the mother by the tongue, because the mother will be putting it first to the clothes. If you see small babies, they are sticking to their mothers, or siblings are sticking. That's the touch that's needed. And we know how important touch is. We will be touching on how important touch is. And
Aarti, just here, I'm interrupting you, but it was very interesting when you said animals which are not as advanced as us are using a tongue, and animals who got advanced are using the hands. Is there a specific reason that one is using a tongue and one is using hands for grooming? It was very, very interesting insight.
We have grown as humans. We will not be using tongue, because our tongue is only used. It will become inappropriate for us to use tongue. But again, as a part of grooming itself, we are using our tongue with gossips. That is also a social bond. You will only sit down and do grooming and sitting and talking. That's also a part of a grooming whole thing. When we sit and talk, even in animals, they are sitting and communicating with each other. When they are forming a social circle, that is also a part of grooming.
Okay.
Because that's where they will be speaking later on the topic on the social connect.
Thank you. I was just wondering if, humans also use the tongue for intimacy. And it's very interesting how intimacy in human beings is still, you're using your hands, but you're also using tongue, and how animal behavior is all about the tongue. So I just found that very fascinating. Please continue.
So there is a point which I will be saying, that animals in the wild, even when they're looking for their partners, they use the tongue to groom each other. They will not let the other animal. So it's a form of friendship. It's a form of sexual partner also when they're finding a sexual partner. Grooming becomes such a crucial role in them, in which they groom each other. We see a lot that in chimpanzees and everything, where they are grooming each other. That's a form of a social bond they're creating. They're saying, okay, I accept you as a partner.
Wow. Can you hear that, guys? I mean, animals, when they choose each other, they groom each other. And we're using our hands. And it's amazing. Thank you, Aarti. Continue, please.
So this is a general thing why we are doing grooming. When I'm talking about let's talk now about the cats and dogs, because that's what we have in our space, more of cats and dogs. Now for cats and dogs, the grooming is by licking. The first state of grooming starts when the mother starts grooming the baby. The baby is taught how to groom themselves. Self-grooming is a very important aspect in animals. By cleaning, licking and cleaning. Now when they're cleaning any kind of dry debris. When the baby is born, he's born with the fluids on it and everything. So the mother cleans it. Second thing, they also clean any kind of smell, because the smell is one important aspect for them to recognize everyone. So when they are licking it, their specific smell from the tongue is going into the body. You must have noticed whenever you give your dog or a cat a bath, at that point of time, what happens is that your animal will go, after you've given them bath, you've dried them up, they will start licking themselves. That is basically to put those smells of themselves because they don't feel themselves. Self-grooming becomes very important for them. If an animal is not grooming himself, we know there is a condition we need to really look deeper into it. Now, grooming does not only mean licking your skin, it also means the nails, the dental health, the eye, the many aspects of hair grooming that comes in, which we'll be touching on to it.
So I'm just going to stop you for a minute and ask people if they have any questions so far. Any questions so far? Jaspal, Gurvinder, Vinita, Sabha, Shiraz, any sawal?
Yes, I have a dog at home.
Yes.
So I actually have just joined a few minutes back, so I don't know what all you have covered. So I just want to ask, like, so is licking the nails also part of grooming? And he licks a lot, so then he gets very stinky and smelly. So we stop him from licking, and then he scratches himself a lot and he bites himself a lot. So what is that all part of? Something wrong?
Thank you so much, Shiraz, for that question. And let's see what our expert Aarti Desai has to say. Thank you.
So that is overgrooming. That's an excess of a behavior. So that is not normal. If he's chewing himself to the limit where he's removing blood or there is a loss of hair, then that is not normal grooming. That's excessive grooming. And the major reason for that could be either stress or any kind of allergies or parasites or anything which is working on the animal's internal body. So here the most important is first to eliminate the stress. Look for what are the reasons the animal is getting stressed, what is the environment reasons, or it could be something with the food. He might be allergic to a certain kind of food. So a vet visit would be recommended over there to rule out if there is any kind of ticks or fleas also, if there are any parasites in the body. Because sometimes you might not be able to see the flea, but the fleas and they leave the eggs, and the eggs literally look like dust. So you will, even if there is one flea in your pet's body, the itching will go to another level. And if there is an allergy to food, especially chicken is one thing which they're very allergic to. And the reason is why, because we overfeed them chicken. We do not put them other proteins. We have to keep rotating the meats for them. It has to be chicken, fish. There are many meats that's available. Quail is there, rabbits are there. All these meats are available. Every meat is giving them a dietary, complete dietary thing. But by only feeding them chicken, we, in the long run, give them an allergy to chicken. And another thing that you need to look at is the immune system. Because if the immune system is strong enough, it will fight up anything. Even a tick and flea ultimately leads to an immune system which is not optimum.
Wow, thank you so much for that. And Gurvinder has a question, so I'm going to get Gurvinder in. Yes, Gurvinder.
Like my pet, he licks the paw. He licks his paw, and once the doctor told me don't allow him to lick it. Any reason for that?
Thank you, Gurvinder, for that beautiful question.
Hello?
Aarti, her pet, Gurvinder's pet, is always licking his paw. Is that normal? And doctor said don't let him lick the paw. Could you just have some explanation there, please? Thank you.
Licking the paw is the first symptom. There is pain in the body, especially around the neck. So if the animal is really licking the paw, then you really need to look at the pain management. He definitely has pain somewhere. It's the first sign of pain.
Okay, I thought maybe there is some injury. That's why he licks the paw.
No, it's pain.
Can that be the reason?
No, there will be pain in the neck, definitely.
Neck.
So you need to start looking at the pain now, because in the long run, because see, animals use a lot over this for bending and eating. So there is a lot of tension that gets produced. And once there is too much tension that gets produced here, the body will compensate itself because the body needs to go on. And that's where the hip dysplasia comes from. The hip issue, the arthritis, the joint issue comes from. So you need to start looking at the flexibility of the animals, where it's going. So that's the reason when you have to start bringing the elevated bowls, which you have to make it, the wooden bowls come, the elevated. So in the long run, you don't cause more injury, and like spondylitis and everything is common in animals.
That's fabulous. The way you've answered it, I don't think many of us knew about this. So extremely grateful. And we go to Anjana. She has a question. Am I getting you in, Anjana? Yes. Unmute yourself, sweetheart. Unmute yourself.
I did. Oh, good to have you back. Actually, I want to know one, how many times are we supposed to bathe our dogs in summer and during the rainy season? Two, my pit bull, she gets these allergic reactions all over her body. And then we took her to the vet, and he has given some Fluralaner 1000 mg chewable tablets, which she's supposed to be given half a tablet, and after 6 months, give again. Now, he said it could be that she is allergic to mud, dust, or cement. Or whatever it is, we have limited her going out in the open. And yes, there is some change. And why we took her to the doctor is because, as you said, she started, by chewing herself so much that it was drawing blood. So then we understood it is the allergy that was causing this extreme reaction. So please tell me what I should do.
Thank you so much, Anjana, for that question. And what is really interesting, I'm going to be getting Aarti in the next few days for buck flower and animals and what can be given, because she's really an expert at that too. Yes, Aarti, go ahead.
So see, we have to understand each breed, how much hair they have. Like the Indies, if you see the one locals on our streets which are there, they don't need so much of maintenance, how much a breed like a Cocker Spaniel who has a lot of hair. So each breed, because again, they're coming from different temperatures, we have to understand we've got them into our space. So one, you have to keep that in mind. Second thing, we have to keep in mind our temperature. Summers becomes hot, so we definitely might be giving them bath more frequently. Personally, I give my dog once in a week or 10 days, once in 10 days. That is in summers. Monsoon, again, you have to see what the animal is like, what his body reacts to. Like for my dog, she reacts to monsoon. So because moisture kinds of gives her skin reaction. Okay, that is in India, it's very common, the moisture giving reaction to the skin. So that is the time I will avoid giving them too much bath. I might give them a hot towel bath where I'll wipe them off. Because again, there'll be too much moisture. If you're taking it to a salon or something where they blow dry the animal and they are blow drying the animal well, then it's good enough. Then you can take it to a spa during the monsoon. But giving home bath and letting the animal be wet and dry on its own is something I will avoid, because if there is an infection, if he's put his paw on something and there is an infection and if it's wet, it will aggravate the whole thing and he will lick, chew, and he'll make that small thing really big. Winters, when the temperature is better, I will give them maybe once a month a bath. Especially in cold temperatures, like if you see Delhi, the downside, up north, I might not give them baths so often. Once a month is good enough. But if they're really smelling or something, you can always take these hot towel baths, just clean them up. When they're coming back from a walk, just, clean them up. That doesn't let the smell be there.
Wonderful.
How can we prevent ticks from entering their feet? Like when you take them for walks, they come back with ticks. And not only that, I think they came with parvo too. So I'm scared to take them out. I don't take them now.
See, we have to give them, their exposure to outside. Otherwise, see, if I don't go out for 10 days, I will feel depressed. It's the same thing with animals. They need exposure because they live from their nose. So instead of doing that, you have to make sure that when you're getting them back from a walk, wipe them off with a wet cloth. Take a wet cloth, nicely wipe them off. You can also use apple cider vinegar, a portion of that mixed with water. Never give it, you can even give them to have the apple cider vinegar or even spray it in their body. But it has to be mixed in the water. Usually they say 50-50, but I've seen my dog finds 50-50 also too much. because apple cider vinegar can be really pungent. So then you see, maybe probably you can go 25% of apple cider and 75% water. Second thing is diet plays a very important role in ticks and fleas, which I've already spoken about. Garlic. Put garlic in the food, put oregano in the food. They will repel the garlic, the tick and flea out. Build on the immune system. Spirulina, which I've already spoken about, builds on the immune system, because once the immune system is strong, they will not attract the ticks and flea in the body. The tick and flea in the body is getting attracted even because of the immune system being weak.
Thank you so much for that, Aarti. And we can continue on the grooming. And then we let Aarti speak a little bit more on grooming, and then we'll ask questions back again. So over to you, Aarti. What does really this grooming involve? You know, we've spoken that grooming chahiye, bath chahiye, ye chahiye, wo chahiye. Animals are licking themselves. But what does it really involve?
You have to understand grooming becomes very important for them for bonding, for family structures within themselves. So here I'm speaking about the broad spectrum of animals. It's not only cats and dogs, it's also the chimpanzees, the rats, and everything. There is a social structure that's formed through grooming. Even a hierarchy in some kind of animals is as per the grooming. You know, who is the alpha will get the grooming from all the females, and those kind of things happens. Companionship is coming from there, where again partners is, you know, chosen. If I'm letting a partner come to me, then I will let that partner groom me, or I'll groom that partner. And also friendships. It's not only about this a sexual encounter that I want to have, but even friendships. Even in some cases when there is a reconciliation that they're looking at, if there is animals that they're fighting and they want to reconcile, grooming will be a part of communication. Actually, if you go to see, it becomes a part of communication, where they're communicating that I am making peace with it. You see this a lot. There's a lot of studies done on chimpanzees with this, because also we are very closest to the chimpanzee. So it's a physical stimulation that is given, and accordingly there's a communication that's happening through that stimulation. There are also, we know when our animals are licking themselves, they're giving a stimulation to their body. When they're giving a stimulation to body, there are hormones produced in the body, which we talk about, the good, happy hormones are produced. There is blood circulation that is happening in the body. So when an animal actually stops doing this, we know there is something we really need to look at. That is when I will be speaking that we have the mental, physical, psychological thing that comes in. Because if an animal is not, this is a natural thing for an animal, that he will lick himself. You will see there will be times where animal will do everything, played, did everything. Then he'll take his spot and he will be grooming himself, where he is relaxing himself. There are good hormones getting produced within himself, and also it induces sleep. So you see animals, before they go to sleep, they will be grooming themselves for some time. They will groom themselves and they will actually go off to sleep.
Wow, I never thought that grooming and friendship and social connects are anywhere connected. And this is completely an insight for me. Let's pause here and ask people if you have any questions regarding, your because most of our animals, we're not even probably taking them out, or we are not even letting them have a social interaction with other animals. It feels as if we have restricted them to have any social interaction is with us, and we want them to behave like human beings, or we are grooming them to become another human being somewhere, and we're not really learning from them, but we are kind of wanting them to learn from us. And I'm really, really grateful, Aarti, that you're creating insights where we're actually learning right now from their behavior. So any question, guys? Any question here so far? Beena ji, Vinita, Sabha?
Yeah, can I ask, ma'am?
Of course.
Actually, we are under a lot of stress because of our dog. He's a stray. Yeah, my daughter had brought him from the streets. But since a few years, like 4 to 5 years, he's scratching a lot. And like we have to sorry, I'm in the kitchen. So And we have to constantly tell him to stop scratching. So like as soon as like we are like watch guards with him. So as soon as my husband moves off from his chair and away from him, he immediately starts scratching. मतलब एक 2 सेकंड में हम लोग दूसरे रूम में जाएंगे तो he just starts like scratching and then you know like biting himself and खच 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 इतना करेगा ना, so it's become like continuous. Somebody has to be with him. So I don't know what. And as ma'am said, yeah, we give him only chicken, but maybe 1 or 2 pieces only, like in the afternoon and in the night with rice and the broth of the chicken. That's all for lunch and dinner, and maybe half an egg. So boiled egg. So that's all that we give him. Otherwise, also then maybe for breakfast, like some milk and some bread or roti. So that's all. So
Thank you so much for that question.
yes,
Let's
please
ask
help us. And we have tried the medicines also. We have gone to 2 to 3 vets and they've given us the anti-flea and everything we have done. So even the vet is like, I don't know like what it is now.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you so much. And Aarti, can we help her out, please?
Yes. So you have to eliminate his diet. You have to make changes in his diet. Understand the dog when he's itching, he must be feeling so uneasy inside. If there is no, even if it's a tick and flea or even if it's an allergy, imagine if you have an allergy, imagine the itching that you feel and anyone telling you stop, stop, stop. So it is actually very, animal is under a deep stress. You need to eliminate, you've only giving him chicken and even his chicken meal is not complete. The meal has to be 1 organ meat, 1 bone, and not even cooked bone I'm talking about here. The bones cannot be cooked. Because cooked bones, if you're giving him bones, then the cooked bones become very sharp. It can go into the body and pierce the intestines. I have got animal cases where the animal has passed away because of this. So please don't give bones to your dogs which are cooked. You can give raw bones, which is bones are only used basically to clean their tartar. Even when we're talking about grooming, teeth also comes as a part of it. Because teeth becomes a mostly neglected part in dogs. It is very crucial because with the teeth, there are a lot of diseases in the body that's connected to. So I will suggest you go in for elimination diet. Roti again is not a good thing for him. Not all dogs are gluten intolerant, but your dog could be. So eliminate roti and see for a week, 10 days and see that whether his itching has reduced. Eliminate chicken. Instead of chicken, put mutton. Mutton is a good this thing. They don't get so allergic to mutton and rotate the meat.
Should you? It should be boiled or raw? The mutton or the chicken. Boil karke na.
And give 1 muscle meat and put 1 organ meat like a liver or a heart or a kidney. These organ meats are very important for them.
Means boiled only with the chicken and the mutton.
Boiled, yeah.
Okay. Well, that would be so small. The organ meat would be very small, right? Like a chicken heart or a liver.
But that is not the only thing you're giving. You're giving him 1 portion of the muscle meat. 1 in the same bowl. There are 3 different types of meat. So if you're giving him, for example, a mutton, you're giving him a muscle. That is like a breast piece or a thigh piece. Then you're giving him 1 organ meat. And you're giving him a bone, which you get in the mutton. That is basically only for his starter to clean. You can give in mutton, you can give boiled, but in chicken, you cannot give boiled. Because mutton, when you cook it, they don't become pointed. They're not able to break it. They only eat the meat around it and then they leave it. They eat the marrow inside and they leave it.
Yeah, so he can't eat the mutton bone. Yeah, he can't chew it only. And the next day he gets vomiting if he tries also.
Yeah, so no, you have to just take it away, let him finish his meal and then take it away. Obviously, the broth you can do. There is also, special broths that you can make for them for the skin allergies. But right now, go start with elimination diet. Milk could also be a reason. Most of the animals are, intolerant to milk. But in our culture, we give them milk and roti is like 1 normal thing that we keep putting for animals. But they are actually, that could be causing the itching for them. So first I would say
for breakfast. That's a confusing thing. Nashte mein kya de?
Nashte mein also you can give chicken, you can give him egg. You can give him a, broth-based food. You can give him poha. poha with chicken soup. You can also give fruits in breakfast.
He doesn't have fruits. He's a proper non-veg.
Yeah, so then give in non-veg only, but change the meat. There are a lot of meats that's available. Instead of chicken, you can give quail. Quail meat is available nowadays. So you can give quail, you can give mutton, you can give, if you all eat beef, you can give beef also. Or if there are rabbits are there, you're getting all the possible meats available now.
Thank you so much for that. And
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
thank you so much for that. And thank you so much, Sheraz, for that question. I think Gurvinder is wanting to ask a question. Gurvinder, aa jaiye.
Yeah, I wanted to ask about the bone. Like you said, but my dog swallows the bones.
They swallow it only, but they chew it. जब वो लोग तोड़ते हैं उसको मुंह से, they become pointed. And when they become pointed, when they eat it up, it can go and poke. If it is a pointed part, it can go and poke inside the stomach.
Yeah. That's why we remove the bones and we just give the chicken.
Yes.
We just give the flesh part and we remove the cooked bones.
Yes.
So my is German Shepherd. So can we give the raw bones to the pet?
If you know from the source from where you get chicken, if you know of the meat that you're getting from an organic place, farm fresh, you can definitely give them raw. Raw chicken feet is supposed to be very, very nutritious. So you'll see a lot of stray animals being fed with the feet because that's actually a part we throw it. But that has the maximum. You only have to see that it does not have any infection. So when you're picking it up, see that it's a clean part and not an infectious part. And pick it up from a place where there is farm fresh animals, where you get organic farm fresh animals, not something which we are getting in our local butchers, because unfortunately our chickens are in a very stressful situation there. And even if we don't know.
So could it?
One thing more, like when we take our pet out for a walk, like these stray dogs, they come to play with the dog. So should we allow him to play with the stray dogs?
Your dog
should
is,
avoid it?
If your dog is vaccinated, I don't feel anything, no reason you should not allow. My dog goes for a walk with
Like
one stray.
and all.
See, if your dog's immune system is strong, we have to work on the immune system. The vets will not ever tell you on the immune system. When we are putting them these tick and flea medicines, at the end of the day are chemicals. The easiest and the best way is to build the immune system so strong that they don't get affected by this. Yet if they get affected, the best thing is neem. Our country is the best in having neem leaves. In summers, give them bath with neem leaves. Give them a massage of neem oil 1 hour before their bath.
Okay, that's wonderful.
They will not get ticks and fleas. You will prevent it.
And those collars they give for the ticks, and all that should not be used.
That also they get ticks.
Okay, right. Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you, Gurvinder, for that amazing question, and thank you, Aarti, because this seems to be a very big problem with animals and scratching, licking their paws, and we don't understand whether it's the correct thing or a wrong thing to do. If you can, we still have we are at 1:40. We can still go on a little bit more on the grooming, and then maybe we can have the last questions. So we were looking over here as to what the grooming involves. We were also going to look at how it holds importance for your pet in mental, physical, emotional, and psychological well-being. Could you throw some light on that? Thank you.
To understand grooming, we have understood that it's such an important aspect for them. It's about social connect, it's about friendship, it's about touch, it's about connections. Now, when you get a puppy at home, you are touching that animal. And if the puppy has been separated from the mother from a very young age, he might even not know what is self-grooming. So you have to then teach the animal grooming. You are using your touch, you are actually grooming. Now, what happens? How do we know that, you're the physical, mental, it's going to get? When you see your animal is not grooming himself, he's sulking in a room and his hair is getting matted, knotted. Now, what does everyday grooming mean? everyday grooming, what you need to do is brush your animal's hair every day. Check his teeth every day, check his eyes every day, check his nails every day, check his ears every day. I'm telling you to check it every day. I'm not saying every day go and clean them. Hair grooming has to be done every day, where you do brushing of the hair so that if there is any kind of debris or dead cells on the skin, that is removed out. The hair which is getting, because they have hair falls twice a year at least. When there is a temperature that's changing or summer is coming in or monsoon is a time they also have a lot of shedding. Winter, they have a shedding. So 2 or 3 seasons, every time there is a seasonal change, they will shed hair. Now, when I have to be an alert when there is a shedding, which is not a seasonal change, when we see there is hair loss happening and there is bald patches happening, that's where I know that is something I need to go to the vet. There is something more, but this is not a normal hair shedding. So when they are shedding their hair, also we have to remove the dead hair. That is only by once we groom them every day. Even if your dog or your cat is not someone who has a lot of hair, yet groom them, because you're removing the debris from any kind of dryness from the skin also. And also you are again stimulating the blood circulation by doing that. That's one thing. So once they stop grooming themselves, we have to understand there is a reason why they stop grooming. You have to eliminate, you have to see first primary is stress. Stress is the reason they will stop. Any environmental change, they will stop. Food is another thing which we have to look at. Maybe the food is not suiting the animal. If we are giving them kibbles, we have to see if the kibble is grain-free or not. And even if it's grain-free, they already have fillers. So you have to see what is the food. Is the food not suiting you? Milk is given very often in our country. Milk is not to be given to them. Because again, milk specifically, if you see, it creates dampness in the body. It creates mucus in the body. So if your animal is already an animal who gets affected by monsoon season, so means again that animal's personality type, his element type is where dampness affects his body. That is the reason he has also issues with his nails where he'll be chewing and everything. Again, that's again dampness. So that's the personality make of an animal that you have to eliminate milk in such a case. Because the dampness is causing other issues in the body which you're not even aware of. So mating of the hair. Second, another thing which is really ignored is the nails. Nails have to be trimmed again and again because see, nails are through which they are standing. The entire pressure on their body is on these 4 legs. And if the nails are big, means they're not touching the ground, they will have a problem in their walking. They will have again problems in their neck and the hip. The major reason for hip and neck issues are coming because we are not grooming the nails enough. So we have to make sure that they are not, but whenever they're making noise on the floor, tuck, 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 that means the nails need to be cut. So ideally go to a person who is professional in that, because it can be a very stressful thing for an animal. That's the reason when you get a puppy at home or get a dog at home, we start touching him in these places, because then it will become a problem, because if he is in pain, he's not going to let you touch. Because they start having pains, their nails also start going crooked because we are not maintaining their nails. And nails is needed, is a very important part for them because they do everything from their hands. They dig from their hands, they play from their hands. So we know how important the nails will be there. The other thing we need to look at teeth, which is really ignored. We have to see the tartar. What happens, there are the tartars cannot go, we use these toothpaste and all, they're chemical loaded. Go for charcoal toothpaste, that is, their charcoal is very good. So that also is it cleanses the system internally also. Charcoal and coconut oil can be mixed and, applied on the teeth and cleansed. Dental is why important, because in the long run, if dental issues are coming, there will be an impact on the kidney. Teeth and kidney are related. Especially in cats, you will see if there is a tooth issue, eventually it will lead to a kidney issue. And eyes and liver are connected. So if there is an eye issue, there will be an issue with the liver which can come up in the future. So eyes are another thing which we have to be careful. If an animal is having a lot of fluids coming from here, and it's literally going so brown that this becomes thick. and we don't really sit and clean it. So take a wet cotton ball, take warm water and just put wet cotton ball and try to keep your eyes of your dogs around specifically this clean. Actually, I was just reading up something and they were saying this is deposits of iron which gets released. I've yet to really study further on all these things, but this is what I have read in one of the papers that I was reading about. But we have to keep the eyes clean. We have to see to it that the eyes has no infection. This is also a part of grooming. Grooming does not mean only taking your animal to a spa or giving him a bath. It's the nails, it's the teeth, it's the eyes, which all have to be taken, and the ears, yes. I'll be coming to ears now. So,
Wow. Aarti, can we just have a pause here? There are people with hands up, and so let's just ask them. Gurvinder says, can we give curd in place of milk, and Dalia in the place of roti?
Dalia is again a form of wheat only. I would yet say okay, but ideally any form of wheat is better to avoid. And yes, you can give curd because curd is a probiotic, so it's good for the gut. So you can definitely give them curd, you can give them chas. And obviously milk is something not to be given. Curd also, when I'm saying, does not mean give a bowl of curd like that. You have to give them about 2 tablespoons of curd or 3 tablespoons of curd is good enough.
Thank you for that. And Anjana is asking a question. So I'm going to get her in. Yes. Anjana, please unmute.
Okay. Can I give them ragi? Is this okay?
Yeah. Because that's gluten.
Oh, but they love it. They wait for that. That's a breakfast.
Yes, that's good.
Okay.
Because it doesn't have gluten, so it's a grain-free millet. So that will be good for them.
And then can you give us a demonstration of how to, clip their nails?
I don't clip their nails. I take them to the vet or to a grooming place because their nail beds has a nerve. If we cut that nerve, there will be bleeding. So if you really want to go to a vet or to a groomer and learn how to cut their nails, I am scared to cut my dog's nails because she wriggles and this thing shouts so much that I get nervous cutting her nails that I'll go and hit her. So I preferably take her to the the groomer, who's very nice. One person carries them in the lap and grooms her. So you have to see, even when you're going to vets, how your vet is holding your animal. Your animal is already so scared with the vet because why he's getting so much smell of animals over there. It's overwhelming for him. And then you're going to hold him like this and all. So you have to see how you also, how you handle animals at that point of time is also a part of grooming. It's important.
My 3 dogs are fine. They run around. Their nails are okay. But one lady, no. She's a quiet one. She's the attacker. But her nails are, rather long.
So usually their nails get refined when they're playing a lot. They're doing a lot of physical activity. If they are not doing, because see, in the wild they climb the trees, they scratch the trees, they have these rough surfaces, the sand they're digging. That nails are getting refined on its own. But when you're domesticating and getting them, you don't have access to so many things. Some animals might do it, some might not do it. So you will have to get her nails, otherwise she will have issues with the neck coming up.
Ma'am, can you tell us how to gently, the right way to clear their ears, of wax?
We will speak about the ears.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for that question. Let's go back to the ears. Yes.
So ears, again, it's a very important aspect. We really need to look into the ears to see if there is a black or a brown thing, which can be just taken. Take just dry cotton, put the dry cotton into the ears and turn it and this thing. Don't go too in. Don't use those long earbuds which comes, because we are not professionals in it. And even professionals do goof ups over there where they really take it really in. And then, there is a tear that happens and we can really create major issues. The easiest way is take a cotton and just put the cotton inside with your finger and just swap off the mud. It may become dry in certain weathers if you are ignoring your dog's or your cat's ears, the muck that gets, accumulated can become hard and dry. And when it becomes hard and dry, you will have to take her to the vet, because they will put a solution inside the, ears, and then they will remove it with a cotton. Now, there are other infections that can happen in the ear. Again, it's connected to diet. So we know diet plays such an important role. Again, grain-free diet. When grains are given too much, the ears start having infections. So, of a diet not suiting an animal, there are many ways the animal's body will respond to you and tell you. Itching is one of the ways. Having a ear infected will be one of the ways. Having the eyes infected will be one of the ways. Infections, if there is too much of infections coming or allergies coming in, then we really need to look at the diet also. We cannot only give them medicines. Most of the vets, if they are not able to solve any skin issues, they will put the animal into steroids. Please, 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 please don't do that. We are playing with the body. We are playing with their gut. We are playing with the microns in their body, and we are just creating havoc for them. It's just downhill. It just goes downhill only. Go in for homeopathy then. Go in for elimination of diet and go in for homeopathy. That's much more safer than putting into steroids.
But ma'am, there are not many vets out here who know homeopathy. That's a,
there are online, there are, COVID has made. Yes, I can give you some vets who are doing online. Homeopaths who are doing online.
Thank you, Aarti. That's a big input.
Yes, please, ma'am, homeopath doctors, even I'm not finding.
Okay, I'll send it to Anu. You can put it.
Yes, I will. So, grooming is so important. It's so important. And yet I don't think, even today when we were talking, it goes back to the food, goes back to the itching, it goes back to so many. And I heard Aarti saying a number of times it's stress. We need to look at the time right now. It's 1:53. We have 7 minutes for me to complete the show. So exactly 3 minutes is what we have right now before we complete the show. So Aarti, if you could kindly tell us, when we talk about stress, ये stress हो सकता है, ये stress हो सकता है, stress की वजह से itching कर रहा है. हम कौन से stress के बारे में बात कर रहे हैं? क्योंकि यहाँ पे तो we are treating our dog like a princess or a prince, and people who are looking at us are saying, यार खाना खाने को नहीं है, मुझे दे दो अंडा, मैं चिकन खा लेता हूँ. और हम उसे अलग-अलग चिकन बना के दे रहे हैं, उसको प्यार कर रहे हैं. Because this happens in my house, that my mates will say, ये कितना lucky है ये कुत्ता, इसको सब कुछ मिल रहा है, बेड भी मिल रहा है सोने को. तो यहाँ पे हम अपनी तरफ से उसको सब कुछ दे रहे हैं, इतना तो शायद हमने अपने बच्चों को भी नहीं दिया होगा. और हम यहाँ बात कर रहे हैं स्ट्रेस के बारे में. तो कैन यू थ्रो लाइट ऑन कौन से ऐसे स्ट्रेसेस हैं व्हिच कैन इंटरप्ट इन द होल सिस्टम, और क्या अगर हमें स्ट्रेसेस आइडेंटिफाई हो जाएंगे तो शायद हमें इतनी दवाइयां ना देनी पड़े. तो प्लीज आरती, इसके ऊपर प्लीज आप थोड़ा सा. हाँ जी.
First of all, already it's the diet which you need to look at.
Okay.
Could be causing too much stress also on the body. If we are only giving them chicken, if you're only, giving them. Second thing, is there anything happening in the space? See, animals are a mirror. They just don't come to our lives just like that. If there is something happening in any relationship, or maybe there is work stress going on, or you're not being able to give that time to your animal, what the animal needs. See, keeping a walker with your animal and you spending that time with your dog are two different things. Your animal doesn't need a walker actually. He wants that quality. What is walking? When you take your dog for a walking, it's a time of you and your animal bonding. It's the relationship that you're working on. It's that relationship when the animal is missing that relationship. Or if there is someone who's traveling, the animal can go through a stress. It could be even an animal being attached to a specific maid in the house, and now that maid doesn't come anymore. Or if there are too many arguments in the house, or if someone is not well in the house, or if there is kind of work stress going on. These all things are going to mirror and your animal is going to show you. What if there is something your animal really wants you to look at about your own life? Even then he will show certain symptoms in himself. So they are really a reflection of what stress can be. These small things for us, which is very small, but for them it could be major things. New people coming or a new animal coming into their environment. How we introduce, this is the latest thing which I learned, which I know I made a mistake, because how you introduce each, when you're having one animal in your house, how you introduce another animal is a thing that we as in India, we are not understanding. We have to understand animals are territorial. Just because they accept an animal and they have no choice, I have not asked my cat whether she wanted another cat. And how did I introduce that other cat it's my responsibility towards my first cat. So that's one learning which I had, my own learning. This can be a very stressful environment for the one who is staying in your house. So how we introduce animals, I think we will once speak about that also, introduction of animals, because we are rescuing so many animals. So many of us rescue animals and get them to our space. But are we really thinking that we are creating stress for the animals in our space? So that can be a very major reason, because again, food can be a major reason if there are animals who are sharing their food or their toys are taken away, so these are small things which causes stress in animals. Our attention getting divided. If we are not giving attention to an animal and we are giving attention, maybe too much of work has come up, or I have to travel, so I have not been there for my animal. Animals being put in shelter or foster care, or new person coming into your space. These all can be reasons for stress for animals.
वाह आरती, मुझे पता ही नहीं था कि अगर ये सारी चीजें जो हम सोचते हैं कि इम्पैक्ट नहीं हो रही हैं, we are looking at our dogs as if they don't understand. We are looking at people in comatose as if they don't understand. We are looking at small babies as if they don't understand. ऐसा लगता है कि अगर आपकी जगह पे कोई है, एनिमल है, they're going to understand everything that's going on in your space. And we need to be more mindful, more sensitive to them. We have come right at the end, and I do need to look at the last bit. And so I'm going to take you through the slides. And I just want everybody to, and I want to acknowledge Aarti Desai once again, Supreme, and each and every one of you. Just like today, we strive to build our community stronger every time we meet. And yes, Beena ji, I will be coming to you. Mujhe last slides karke, agar time hoga, so I will definitely take you in. Just give me a minute. Okay, so there we are. So we've almost reached to the end of these, and we looked at a lot of questions. We looked at what grooming actually means, what it involves, the importance it holds in our pets' mental, physical, emotional, and psychological well-being and social connect. कुछ ऐसा लगा मुझे जैसे कि अधूरा रह गया अभी भी सवाल हैं, and which is a good thing. इसका मतलब awareness create हो रही है और आप अपने आप से पूछ रहे हैं. And what's really interesting, people over here have more than one pets. More than one pet. So ऐसे नहीं है कि people are asking जिनको बिल्कुल पता नहीं है. People who already have pets, we still don't know. And that's what is so important. And यहाँ पे हमने सवाल भी काफी लिए, and बीना जी आपका सवाल लेंगे. You can find related classes by clicking explore. हम अभी तक आरती को 2 बार महीने में लेके आ रहे हैं, because this is not my field, but I know she is brilliant. And I'm really grateful to Aarti that she accepts my invitation. Really grateful to get set up, that they are making an awareness for the pet parents and for the pets. So I'm really excited about this. You will check your email and look at the notes, and for the feedback, you can share your experiences, क्योंकि आप जब share करेंगे तो we will be able to bring in more of Aarti over here. तो मेरी गुजारिश है आपसे कि Facebook पे जाइए, Instagram पे जाइए, और जो हमने टिप्स आपसे शेयर करे हैं, 1 या 2 तो आप शेयर कर ही सकते हैं उन लोगों से जिनको आप सोचने पे मजबूर कर देंगे कि यार ऐसा भी होता है क्या. एंड उसके साथ हैशटैग करना मत भूलेगा, #GetSetUp, @GetSetUp, social @GetSetUp, and host an interest group if you want to host an interest group, या आपको लगता है कि आप कुछ ऐसा सिखा सकते हैं तो प्लीज डू नॉट सिट डाउन एंड से ओ नहीं कल परसों, ना 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 ना, मैसेज कीजिए at help@getsetup.io, or you have no idea how happy we will be to host you on this program. तो चलिए बीना जी से लास्ट सवाल पूछ लेते हैं. बीना जी चलिए आ जाइए.
Yeah, I don't have a sawal, but what I would like to say that my cat, whenever I go to the clinic, there are another 3-4 stray cats used to come to our clinic, and we used to give them some dry food and everything. But the moment I enter the house from the clinic, then he gets really annoyed. Even if I don't touch the cats, he really, at times he becomes so irritated that he tries to attack me and all. So ultimately I have to move around with a water spray so that he will be away from me. He's so possessive. The same thing, whereas my husband goes to the clinic, he goes every day, he touches those cats, he picks them up, everything he does, but he doesn't try to attack him. But the moment I come back from this clinic, same place, I don't even touch the cats. I stay away from the cats so that this person should not get annoyed with me. Still, he gets annoyed.
He can smell this thing, and what
Yeah.
happens is that he also knows that, okay, you, this one, I'm okay with this one touching it, but you cannot touch. So he's feeling that this thing, and he feels betrayed if you do that. So his way of expressing his anger, I don't talk to you kind of behavior.
Yeah. And he doesn't allow anybody else also who is taking care of him. Now he's, at the moment, I'm in New Zealand. So I left him in a condo with some people. But there, that person who touched the earlier some other cat, and then he went and tried to do the cleaning of this condo and everything, and he really attacked him like in a very bad way. I'm feeling guilty for it, on the contrary, that he attacked him. But then we asked him, "Where did you touch the earlier or attended the other cat earlier and then went to him?" He said, "Yes, I did it so."
Okay, that is so wonderful sharing, and I really love that, Beena ji, that even from New Zealand you're connecting with us, and I'm really, really happy for that. We have come to the end, and in fact, we've crossed 4 minutes
No,
more.
it is the thanks we should give it to you, because you people have attracted us so much that we don't want to miss Get Set Up at all.
Yes, and I understand that this is a very wonderful class today, created by Aarti and by me.
Yeah, I thank Aarti. It was very nice session.
Absolutely.
Though I attended it halfway through, but I was really impressed with the session this time.
Thank you so much. And I want to give special thanks to Supreme for holding the whole group together, because वहाँ बैठ के सिर्फ बातें नहीं सुन रहा होता, वो बहुत कुछ और कर रहा होता है. And deep acknowledgement to each and every one of you on this platform कि आपने प्यार दिया. आप जाके जरा प्लीज 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 ये कहानियां शेयर करिए ना फेसबुक के ऊपर कि आपको कैसा लगा, आपको क्या हो रहा है. And you know what? It will help us to bring this show for you a lot more than right now. And lifelong learning करनी है हमने, तो बस वेट करते रहिए हमारी नेक्स्ट क्लास के लिए. सबा खान कुछ कहना चाहती हैं, फटाफट कह दें, बहुत वक्त आगे निकल गया है. हाँ जी.
Yes, ma'am. Actually, I don't have pet, but I can't miss the session. Thank you so much, Aarti, because I am very look after the stray dogs. I love them. I feed them. So this is very good. I got so many knowledge about this. So I am following all this. Thank you so much, Aarti.
Thank you, Aarti, once
Thank you,
again.
ma'am. Thank you,
Thank
Aarti,
you,
ma'am.
thank you,
Thank you,
everybody.
everyone. Bye.
Love you all. Stay happy, stay healthy.
Thank you.
चलिए.
Bye.